Good evening, YouTube. As you can tell by the models on the table, my Colossal is pretty much built. Quick review on it, putting it together, and this is the size comparison. The War Dog, one of my favorite models. Large, heavy warjack, who stands directly in front of him, no higher than his torso, than his leg unit right here. So pretty much he's going to be crotch punching it all the time. Yes, EVE Online in the background. But beyond that, the model went together fairly well. I had a lot of mold lines on this one I had to clean up, and he is not attached to this base yet. But everything went together fairly well. The model bits and the plastic I didn't have a problem with. I did end up washing the resin pieces. Not so much for the mold release, I didn't see a whole lot of that on there, but after I'd filed it down to try to get as much of the mold lines gone as I could, I had to wash them to get the those really fine just filings, I guess, off. But anyway, to the model itself. One thing that might be showing up here on camera is you have two different colors of the resin. You've got this gray color and then this more white color. That's not just the light, as you can see between the torso and the shoulder pad. I don't know if it really matters. I just kind of noticed that. Everything did go together very well. I didn't have a whole lot of options with posing him, unless I wanted to go into some heavy conversions, and I'm not ready to do that yet. So his legs are pretty much like they are. You get a little bit of posability with the arms here. One thing I did notice, some errors within the molding right here. I don't think that's going to show up all that well, but right there I was cleaning the model and my knife slipped and went through that right there, and that's pretty much hollow, that joint. It's supposed to be solid like the joint on the other piece, which is up under here. You really can't see it. Not a whole lot I can do about that, except try to put some green stuff in it. I'm going to try that liquid green stuff that's out to try to get into the cracks right there. The rest of it, you know, pretty straight up and down. There's the standard, you know, you've got a gap here a little bit. It's not perfect, but then what is? Right up here, as some of you may have seen through the pictures, right there, that crevice, a lot of filings built up in there. I spent a good amount of time trying to get that cleaned back out so that you could even see the crack between it. And I think once I get it molded or fixed or painted, that should take care of itself. The only other big issue or even noticeable thing that came up with me this model is it does take a little bit of time to put together. I spent the better part of an afternoon. Now, it's an enjoyable model to put together, that's not a problem. Oh, and before anyone points this out, yes, I know that his arm shield bits ain't on, and I know the big cannon is not on. I left those off specifically so that I could paint them. Hey, look, he fell over. Is anybody surprised? So I could paint them up. And also, if I put his shield bit goes right here, that's going to cover a large amount of this, which granted, after it's covered, I'm really not going to worry about if it's painted or not. But before I put it on there, there's going to be some details like in here and some of my very light highlights, if I do any, that I won't be able to do with the shield on. So I'm going to need to do that. And up here, the same thing with this. And this thing's just going to keep falling over. And that's maybe something that should be pointed out. Just by doing this, he becomes unstable and starts wanting to fall. Now granted, I know he's going to be glued and everything else. I'm not worried about that. But on his base alone, he's kind of unstable. But at least I know he can fall down and he won't instantly snap. Anyway, back to the point at hand. Left the gun off so that I could paint this up here. And then the smokestacks back here. And that's pretty much it for this model. I think it's a good kit. I think it's, you know, a good buy for what you get. And with these coming out, I know that especially my local meta is going to be running a lot of them. I don't know about everybody else's. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. These are game changers. They're not broken by any means. I mean, yes, in a turn, a single heavy warjack, or, you know, 2, or a unit of infantry, granted your higher end infantry, can take one of these down. These aren't game breaking, but I see them changing the way the game's played, mainly because you've got so much. This guy's got 3 guns, 2 of which get 2 shots apiece on the same target, you know, 2 fists, all the focus you can do with them, and then all the spells and everything else. I see this being a game changer, more so than the battle engines, because the battle engines weren't as, what's the word I'm looking for here, as versatile as these are. And maybe that's a bad description, but to me they weren't as versatile as this guy. And by this guy I mean all Colossals, so don't just think I'm harping on the Conquest, even though I'm partial to the fact he's probably the coolest one out there. That would be my big thing about this. Again, good model, good kit. I look forward to getting to paint it up, and then we're just going to take it from there. I do have some questions to the YouTube community out there. This is going to be like a centerpiece model, so I'm going to try to do the best that I can with it. Again, I'm not an awesome painter. Y'all have seen my work. I do decent, but that's about it. One thing I've noticed, even on some of my smaller models, or more specifically on here, yes, this is a long video, I'm rambling, I do apologize, is when you paint them, sometimes I get some brush strokes. And, you know, I've thought about trying to water down the paint. I've thought about, you know, trying to airbrush, anything of that nature. I like the simple is better option. I've never tried the Army Painter Red. If anybody knows if it's a good color, or if Army Painter in general is good, please let me know, because I was going to prime it black and then do the armor in red by masking over the areas that I want to stay black for the metal colors. If anybody knows if that matches close to the sanguine red from Privateer Press, please let me know. If you know of a good way to thin the paint down a little bit to reduce the brush strokes without having to, you know, add 10 pounds of water to one little thing of paint, so I don't have to do 10 layers. I'm wanting to get this, I want to spend some time on it, but I don't want to spend 6 months on it. Okay. Also with the base, I'm wanting to do something special with the base. Secret Weapon base company has this round lip Urban Streets base, which I'm thinking about getting for 10 bucks. It's a pretty cool looking little base for this, and I think it would match the idea behind Colossals being humanoid cities, civilization coming to kill everything. Let me know what y'all think. Any suggestions, please put them in the comments below, and keep on wargaming.